While most 12-year-olds were lost in video games, Elon Musk was doing something different. He was creating one. In 1984, he coded his first video game, Blaster, a space shooter where players destroyed alien ships. He sold it to a magazine for $500, making it his first business deal. Born in 1971 in Pretoria, South Africa, Elon Musk was a curious, quiet, and misunderstood child. His father, Elon Musk, a mechanical engineer, was a strict disciplinarian. His mother, May Musk, was a graceful and independent Canadian model and dietitian. From early on, Elon showed a deep fascination with knowledge. But he also had episodes that puzzled his parents and doctors, trance-like states where he would seem entirely disconnected from the world. Tests showed no hearing issues. What they didn't understand was that young Elon was processing immense cognitive activity, visualizing intricate structures, ideas, and worlds inside his mind. He consumed books at an extraordinary pace. Encyclopedias, science fiction, engineering manuals, anything he could get his hands on. He was especially inspired by The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which taught him the value of asking the right questions, not just looking for easy answers. At the age of 9, he once calmly told a cousin who feared the dark, "Darkness is merely the absence of light." His intellect, however, alienated him. At school, Elon was an outcast. He was bullied relentlessly. Once he was pushed downstairs and beaten so badly he was hospitalized. "They got my nose," he later recalled. But it taught him resilience, a trait that would define his life. His early years were stable until his parents divorced when he was 9 years old. Elon chose to live with his father, something he later called not a good idea. Yet it was in this phase that he discovered computers. At age 10, in a mall, Elon saw a computer for the first time. He was mesmerized. His father reluctantly bought him a Commodore VIC-20, which had 5 kilobytes of memory. It came with a workbook to learn basic programming, designed to take 6 months to complete. Elon finished it in 3 days. At 12, he created Blaster, his first game, and sold it for $500. The spark had become a flame. A young immigrant's dream. 1989, Canada to the USA. Elon always dreamed of going to America, the land of opportunity. But escaping apartheid-era South Africa was not easy. At age 17, he found a loophole. His mother, a Canadian by birth, could transfer her citizenship to him. Elon moved to Canada, alone, in 1989. In the early days, he stayed with relatives, worked on farms, cleaned boilers, and even shoveled dirt. Anything to survive. His mother May and younger brother Kimball soon followed. Elon enrolled at Queen's University in Kingston, Ontario. He met Justine Wilson, his future wife, during his time there. After 2 years, he transferred to the University of Pennsylvania, earning dual degrees, one in physics and another in economics from the Wharton School. At Penn, Elon's ideas began to crystallize. He believed the internet, renewable energy, and space exploration would shake humanity's future. While interning at the Bank of Nova Scotia, he observed how clunky and inefficient traditional banking was, laying the groundwork for his first disruption. Zip2, mapping the internet, 1995 to 1999. After graduating, Elon and Kimball moved to California to chase the tech wave. In 1995, they launched Zip2, an online directory and mapping tool for newspapers and local businesses. At first, they couldn't afford an office. They rented a small workspace and lived in it. Elon coded by night, Kimball pitched by day. They shared one computer. Elon would sleep on a beanbag when he wasn't coding. Zip2 soon caught attention. It became a platform for newspapers like the New York Times and Chicago Tribune to create city guides. Venture capital firm More Davido invested $3 million, and eventually, Zip2 scaled to employ dozens of people. In 1999, Compaq bought Zip2 for $307 million. Elon received $22 million. At just 27 years old, he had made his first fortune. X.com and the PayPal revolution, 1999 to 2002. Most people would retire. Elon doubled down. He invested $12 million of his Zip2 earnings to start a new company, X.com. The idea? A fully online bank offering checking, savings, and money transfers with no physical branches. Back then, people didn't even trust credit cards online. Elon knew he had to build trust. He offered $20 to every new user who signed up, $10 for referrals. Within 2 months, X.com had 200,000 users. But Elon wasn't alone in the space. Peter Thiel, Max Levchin, and their team were building Confinity, which offered PayPal, a money transfer service. By early 2000, both companies were burning through cash trying to outgrow each other. The solution? A merger. X.com and Confinity combined forces. Elon became CEO and largest shareholder. But tensions rose. Elon insisted on rebranding the company as X.com, but employees and users preferred PayPal. His management style, intense and perfectionistic, caused internal conflict. He demanded round-the-clock productivity and was known to publicly criticize underperformers. While Elon was on honeymoon in September 2000, the board voted him out. Peter Thiel became CEO. Elon remained on the board and was still the biggest shareholder. Under Thiel's leadership, PayPal thrived. In 2002, eBay acquired PayPal for $1.5 billion. Elon walked away with $180 million. Love and loss, 2002. Just as success knocked at his door, tragedy struck Elon's personal life. In 2002, Elon and Justine lost their first son, Nevada Alexander Musk, to sudden infant death syndrome, SIDS. He was just 10 weeks old. Elon was devastated. For weeks, he couldn't bear to return home. The silence, the empty crib, the grief. As a child, he had drowned his pain in books. Now, he turned to work. He buried himself in ideas, invention, and future ventures. The Mars mission begins 2001 to 2002. In 2001, Elon Musk, now 30 years old and freshly minted from his PayPal success, began scanning the horizon for his next big disruption. He turned his eyes to space. As a child, he had built and launched mini rockets for fun. Now, he wondered something bigger. Why haven't humans explored Mars yet? He visited NASA's website, expecting grand plans, but there were none. No bold missions, no roadmap to Mars. Elon was stunned and disappointed. That very moment, he made a decision. If no one was going to do it, he would. He formed the Life to Mars Foundation and began the Mars Oasis project. The goal? To send a small pressurized greenhouse to Mars, grow the first plant there, and reignite global interest in interplanetary life. The idea was to stream the experiment live back to Earth, a visual, symbolic act. He traveled to Russia in hopes of purchasing intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, the cheapest possible launch vehicles. He offered $20 million for 3 missiles. The Russians responded with a quote of $21 million for just one. Worse, they didn't take him seriously. To them, he was just a young, rich American techie. Frustrated but undeterred, Elon did something extraordinary. On the flight home, while his team lamented the failed negotiations, Elon pulled out his laptop and started crunching numbers. Then he turned to them and said, "We'll build the rockets ourselves." He had already realized something astonishing. Only 2 to 3% of a rocket's price was raw materials. The rest was inflated costs from outdated manufacturing, bloated supply chains, and inefficient processes. If they could redesign the process, they could revolutionize space travel. And with that vision, SpaceX was born. The battle to launch, 2002 to 2008. In June 2002, Elon bought a 75,000 square foot warehouse in El Segundo, California, and turned it into a rocket factory. He hired elite engineers from NASA and Boeing and formed a team whose singular goal was to build the world's cheapest and fastest rockets. Elon's approach was radical: vertical integration. Build nearly everything in-house, from engines to avionics. Cross-functional teams. Engineers designing and building rockets work side by side, slashing timelines and boosting quality. Cost control. Instead of relying on expensive aerospace-grade materials, SpaceX engineered with precision using commercial off-the-shelf components. Their first rocket was Falcon 1, named after the Millennium Falcon from Star Wars. It was a 70-foot tall launch vehicle designed to send 600 kilograms into low Earth orbit for just $7 million. Competitors charged $70 million for the same service, but execution was tough. Despite plans to launch within a year, it took 4 years. The first launch in 2006 was a disaster. Falcon 1 exploded 25 seconds after liftoff due to a fuel leak. The team watched in horror as their dreams went up in smoke. Undeterred, they tried again in 2007. This time, the first stage separated properly, but the second stage engine shut down early. The rocket spun out and crashed. A third launch followed in August 2008, and it too failed due to a stage separation error. 3 rockets, 3 failures. $100 million burned. The next attempt would be their last. They had money for one more launch. If it failed, SpaceX would collapse. The Tesla gamble, 2004 to 2008. Meanwhile, Elon had been analyzing another industry ripe for disruption: automobiles. Gasoline cars polluted the planet and depended on finite fossil fuels. Elon believed that the future belonged to electric vehicles, EVs, but only if they could outperform gas cars in speed, range, affordability, and desirability. That's when he discovered a small startup called Tesla Motors, founded by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning. Their dream was to create a sleek electric sports car, the Roadster, powered by lithium-ion batteries, the same kind used in laptops. Elon was intrigued. In 2004, he invested $6.5 million, becoming Tesla's chairman and later its CEO. The Roadster was ambitious: 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4 seconds, a range of over 300 kilometers, and stunning design. But bringing it to life was a nightmare. Battery systems were untested, production costs ballooned. Tesla had expected to sell the Roadster for $65,000. By 2007, the cost to build it was over $100,000. The math didn't work. Then, in 2008, the world was hit by a global financial crisis. Investors fled. Funding dried up. Tesla was nearing bankruptcy. The darkest hour, 2008. 2008 was the worst year of Elon's life. SpaceX had burned through its capital after 3 failed launches. Tesla was on the brink of collapse. Elon was nearly out of money. But instead of choosing to save one company, he chose both. He sold his McLaren F1, mortgaged his properties, and invested his remaining funds into Tesla. At the same time, he personally oversaw SpaceX's 4th and final launch attempt. On September 28, 2008, Falcon 1 stood again on the launch pad. The mission was do or die. This time, everything worked. Stage 1, success. Stage 2, success. Payload, success. Then, the control room erupted. Falcon 1 had reached orbit. For the first time in history, a private company had successfully launched a liquid-fueled rocket into Earth's orbit. Just weeks later, NASA awarded SpaceX a $1.6 billion contract to resupply the International Space Station. SpaceX had not only survived, it had arrived. But Tesla wasn't safe yet. Elon made desperate calls to investors, assuring them the Roadster was ready, with thousands of pre-orders. On Christmas Eve, 2008, just days from bankruptcy, Tesla received a $40 million investment. It survived, barely. Redefining the Future, 2009 to 2017. Tesla now had a fighting chance. In 2012, it launched the Model S, a sleek, full-size electric sedan with a 500-kilometer range, 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.2 seconds, and a 17-inch touchscreen dashboard. It wasn't just a car, it was software on wheels. Motor Trend named it Car of the Year, and Tesla's stock soared. In 2013, Tesla posted its first profit. More models followed. Model X, an SUV with Falcon wing doors. Model 3, an affordable electric sedan for the mass market. Model Y, a compact SUV. Tesla also built the Gigafactory to scale battery production and launched Autopilot, paving the way for self-driving cars. By 2017, Tesla became the most valuable automaker in the US. Meanwhile, SpaceX wasn't slowing down. It launched the Falcon 9, capable of carrying 50 times more payload than Falcon 1. Even more revolutionary? The Falcon 9 was reusable. In 2015, SpaceX landed its first rocket booster safely back on Earth. The space industry had changed forever. Reusability changes everything. 2015 to 2018. In 2015, SpaceX did something that had never been done before. They landed a rocket back on Earth after launch. This wasn't just a technical triumph, it was a revolution. Rockets had always been single-use, like throwing away a jet after one flight. By mastering reusability, SpaceX slashed the cost of space travel. Suddenly, launching satellites, cargo, or even humans became not just affordable, but scalable. Elon Musk had turned science fiction into a repeatable industrial process. Then came Starlink. Thousands of SpaceX-built satellites now orbit Earth in a vast low Earth constellation, beaming high-speed internet to underserved and remote regions across the globe. From rural villages in Africa to mountaintop cabins in Alaska, Starlink is bridging the world's digital divide toward Mars and beyond, 2019 to 2024. With orbital mastery achieved, Elon pushed forward with his most ambitious project yet, Starship. Bigger than anything NASA had ever built, Starship is designed to carry up to 100 people and 100 metric tons of cargo. Fully reusable, fully stainless steel, fully insane by traditional aerospace standards. Starship is the centerpiece of Elon's Mars plan. His goal? Build a self-sustaining city on Mars within our lifetime. In test after test, SpaceX engineers flew, exploded, and refined Starship prototypes. By 2024, SpaceX had launched multiple high-altitude tests and was preparing for orbital flights. NASA even selected Starship for its Artemis program, which aims to return humans to the moon by 2026. Hacking the human brain. Not content with conquering Earth and space, Elon turned inward toward the most complex object known, the human brain. In 2016, he founded Neuralink, a neurotechnology company aiming to create brain-computer interfaces, BCIs. These chips, surgically implanted in the skull, could allow the brain to communicate directly with machines. The early goals were therapeutic, to help people with paralysis, blindness, and ALS. But the long-term vision is to merge human intelligence with AI, to ensure humanity isn't left behind. By 2024, Neuralink had completed its first human trials, showing successful neural signal capture. A paralyzed patient used his mind to move a computer cursor. The future had arrived, one neuron at a time. Digging deeper and moving faster. In parallel, Elon launched The Boring Company, a tunnel-digging venture aimed at solving urban congestion. In 2021, they debuted the Las Vegas Loop, a network of underground tunnels ferrying Teslas between convention centers. It wasn't the Hyperloop yet, but it was a start. The Hyperloop, a vacuum tube transport system capable of reaching speeds of over 600 miles per hour, remains under development. Startups and governments around the world have adopted the concept. Controlling the conversation, 2022 to 2024. In October 2022, Elon acquired Twitter for $44 billion. It was a stunning move. He rebranded it X, aligning it with his long-term vision of creating an everything app: banking, messaging, content, payments, all in one. But the acquisition was chaotic. Within weeks, Elon laid off over 50% of Twitter's workforce, changed content moderation policies, and reinstated banned accounts. Critics called it reckless. Supporters called it revolutionary. In parallel, he launched xAI, his own AI company, to develop truth-seeking artificial general intelligence. Unlike other AI labs, xAI is being built openly, transparently, and aligned with what Elon calls maximally curious AI: wealth, power, and criticism. By 2024, Elon Musk's net worth had surpassed $400 billion, making him the richest human in history. He owns companies that build rockets, electric cars, brain chips, tunnels, and AI. He literally shapes the global narrative, often through a single tweet. But with great power comes intense scrutiny. His work culture has been described as brutally demanding. Reports of extreme hours, layoffs, and internal pressure have surfaced across Tesla, SpaceX, and Twitter. His political donations, reportedly over $280 million, primarily toward conservative candidates, have raised concerns. His alignment with former President Trump and increasing political influence has alarmed many. Some call him a visionary, others a monopolistic threat. Love him or hate him, Elon Musk is many things: a genius, a workaholic, a disruptor, and a provocateur. He makes bold claims, breaks norms, and often breaks his own rules. But above all, he is unignorable. His dream is not to wait for the future. It's to build it, with bare hands, bold bets, and relentless risk. Whether it's colonizing Mars, wiring human brains, or reimagining cities underground, he's pushing humanity forward. You love him or you hate him, but you can't ignore Elon Musk. Elon Musk didn't just build rockets, cars, or companies. He built possibilities, defying rules, rejecting limits, and reshaping the world. But long before Elon challenged reality with machines, there was another mind who challenged it with ideas. George Orwell, a man who used words as weapons, who warned the world of invisible control, mass manipulation, and the dangers of unchecked power. Orwell and Elon lived in different centuries, spoke in different mediums, but both believed in questioning authority, embracing truth, and daring to change the future. One shaped thoughts, the other shapes technology, but both shaped history. So if you're inspired by Elon's story, don't miss the untold journey of a rebel thinker who saw the future before it happened. Watch our documentary on George Orwell, now live on this channel. Because sometimes, the greatest revolutions begin not in space, but on a blank page.